Guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and I think these cards are undervalued. This is a list of cards that I kind of keep in my back pocket. They're cards that serve to fill some roles when I need to fill some spaces in a couple of decks. And I want to share why I like these cards with you guys and maybe convince you to give them a try in some of your decks, see if you can have some fun with them. Now, before we get to that, I want you guys to comment down below and tell me what your number one most underrated card is, what you think more people should be playing or more people should give a shot. So, without any further ado, number 10 on my list, Hellsgate, a very vanilla card. Main, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon for a play cost of 6, and the security effect is add this card to its owner's hand. So Ace Digimon have become more and more prevalent, making this a 2-cost removal option at its best. So if your opponent's got a level 6 Ace Digimon sitting on the board, you use a Hellsgate, you have paid 2 memory to remove their level 6 Digimon. Not bad. It's a decent way to hit the increasing number of cards with protection from Digimon effects that are still vulnerable to option-based removal. I think we're going to see this more moving forward. We've already been seeing it more, and the more we see it, the more that options that can hit level 6s and 7s kind of become a little bit more valuable, worth looking at least. Crucially, this can hit level 7 Digimon, which Fly Bullet, 7th Lightning, and Biting Crush all miss. Those are all cards that you might consider as your premier removal options in purple, but this does cost 1 less. And it does hit level 7s where those cards do not. Unfortunately, this card does have the massive downside of not activating its own security effect. That is really quite bad. And currently, plenty of Digimon pack more effective removal through when digivolving or when attacking effects. It's just kind of natural that your level 6 Digimon now packs some kind of removal that's going to deal with your opponent's board and punish them for just kind of hanging out there when you digivolve or you swing, which makes Hellsgate a little bit tricky to find a space for common play. But depending on your friend group, depending on who you're playing with or what your locals looks like, this might be a great way to hit some unsuspecting ace level 6s. Number 9, I have Keenan Crier. On play, your opponent may trash 1 Tamer card or option card in their hand. If they don't, gain a memory and draw 1. This has a play cost of 3, and on the opponent's turn, when an effect plays a Digimon by suspending this Tamer, you gain 1 memory. And the security effect is also to play this card without paying the cost, as most Tamers are. So floating bodies on deletion has become more and more frequent, which means there's really more opportunities to use Keenan than when it originally came out in BT13. At best, this is a 2-cost Tamer that draws you 1 card on play and continues to threaten to steal memory in the face of your opponent's floating effects. Now, frequently, you'll see people not pay the trashing effect on play. They either don't have a Tamer or an option to trash, or they just don't want to throw away their trainings or their memory boosts or what have you. And so you wind up getting this on the board for 2, and you get to draw a card for your troubles. Stacking multiple Keenan against decks where it works can be absolutely devastating, disgusting, whatever word you want to use. When your opponent floats into something, you're just stealing 1, 2, sometimes even 3 memory from them. And that's gross, especially if your deck is packing enough removal that you can be popping whatever is floating into these bodies. Unfortunately, against decks that pack no float effects, Keenan really is just a mediocre Tamer that's really just going to gain you a memory and draw you a card if played from security, and that's even assuming that your opponent doesn't trash a Tamer or option card in their hand. At worst, this can actually just do nothing. If the opponent trashes a card, I guess you force them to trash, but that's not really what you're playing Keenan for. Number 8 on our list, the man himself, Omnimon Zwart. I absolutely adore this card, and I wish things were different. I wish I could put him higher than number 8. He is number 8, because he has a lot of downsides, but he has a lot of upsides, so let's talk about it. When digivolving, you can trash the top 3 cards of your deck, then you may play up to 2 black and or purple Digimon cards with play cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying their memory cost. This is 6-cost Evo, and when attacking, you can return a level 6 Digimon card in this Digimon sources to its owner's hand to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with a play cost of 12 or less. So as Ace level 6 Digimon continue to become more widely available, Omnimon Zwart continues to get more powerful recursion targets. We're thinking about playing those 2 Digimon back off of the when digivolving effect. At best, this can absolutely demolish an opponent's board by bringing back 2 strong removal effects from Ace Digimon. Just some examples that I put down here. Beelzemon Blast Mode Ace is an 8 play cost. Ace Digimon's going to pop a level 6 and has some nasty when attacking. Darkdramon Ace, Titamon Ace, Shadow Seraphimon Ace, all great targets. You can de-digivolve your opponent's board. With Titamon Ace, if you're actually running the DM deck, you can wind up going 4 bodies wide on top of the Omnimon Zwart with 4 blocker retail bodies, and 2 of them will have Scapegoat. That's really nasty just in and of itself. Unfortunately, this card is not searchable, and the 6-cost Evo is really expensive. What I mean by unsearchable is you're not going to hit it with any trainings, you're not going to hit it with memory boosts, because this is a white card. It is not any of our traditional search colors. On top of that, digivolving on top of the Ace Digimon you want to recur means your when attacking will lose you memory on top of the 6-cost Evo, and that effect doesn't actually hit everything. So if you're playing a really ace-heavy deck, you're probably digivolving on top of one of those aces, and when attacking, you have to return a level 6 Digimon card from your sources to your hand. So what that means is you're going to have to pay the overflow cost when attacking, and you just paid 6 memory to evo into this, and on top of that, your when attacking effect can only target unsuspended Digimon with a play cost of 12 or less. There's plenty of level 6 Digimon that have a play cost of 13, which means you don't even hit all level 6s on the board, even if they are unsuspended. And that kind of sucks. And that overflow cost means you're kind of in a 10 memory investment for this Omnimon Zwart when you count up the digivolving and the attacking cost if you overflow it all, which just kind of makes it not really worth it. You're just kind of playing it to go really, really wide. So there's some ups and downs there for sure, but when it shines, and boy, is it tons of fun when you go really, really wide with this guy. Number 7, you know I love me some Cerberusmon Werewolf mode. Evo's on Cerberusmon for 1, otherwise he's a 4 cost on a level 4 blue or purple. When digivolving, you may play a level 3 blue or purple Digimon card from your trash or from one of your Digimon sources without paying the cost. At the next end of your opponent's turn, return it to the hand. And we've got an inheritable here that says all turns once per turn when an effect plays one of your Digimon, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the hand. So, with the proliferation of powerful blue top-end cards, Cerberusmon Werewolf mode serves as an excellent bridge into normally inaccessible cards. Guys, if you're building some kind of pile, or even just a purple deck that runs Dark Animals and you need some more powerful top-end cards, Werewolf mode is such a great bridge into a lot of really, really powerful blue cards. You can get into Hexablaumon. If you're running X Antibodies anyways, you can get into Gallantmon X Antibody. You can get into Ancient Garurumon. Just lots of good blue cards that this can get into. This doesn't require any trash setup like a lot of traditional purple level 5 Digimon, because you can just play a level 3 from your sources, and if your stack is built for it, you're just going to gain memory off of that and get value back anyways. You can also evo into this for a normal cost with a scramble because it's going to reduce the cost, and you're going to wind up in it for 3 with a scramble. And with proper support, Alice, you offer incredible tempo that can be difficult for the opponent to deal with. If you're playing this in any deck that's bridging into blue and you're running Alice as well, you just get to play level 3 from your sources, delete the level 3, and evo into your blue level 6 for free. And assuming you're playing those blue level 6s because they're really powerful and annoying to deal with, you're just kind of going to terrorize your opponent with incredible tempo because you got to evo into your level 6 for free. Unfortunately, this has a relatively mediocre inheritable, and it's not enough synergy to shine more than some in-archetype level 5 Digimon. It requires some setup, and you have to have some supporting pieces around this. So on its own, it's not really doing a whole lot, but if you're playing the right kind of deck, I think this card can provide so much value for a couple of strategies. Number 6, okay guys, you caught me. I was lying the whole time. I know everybody still knows about Death Xmon. I know people still play this card, but I think he's undervalued in comparison to other powerful level 7 Digimon. This man is $7 on TCG Player right now. I really think that is kind of a steal for this card. I think it's still fantastic. It's an incredibly powerful tool for punishing overextended boards and ace Digimon. Tamers continue to get easier to play, which means Death Xmon gets cheaper to play more consistently. There's lots of level 4s now that say if you have 1 or fewer Tamers with whatever name, then you get to play a Tamer from your hand. That means that the opponent's usually rocking with 2 Tamers, and they might even hard play a third one. We're talking about just an easy 6 to 9 discount on the Death Xmon, and then if they have a Digimon, we're looking at 9 to 12 off. You're not that far away from effectively punishing your opponent with this card. De-Digivolve also continues to be one of the more difficult keywords to protect from, so Death Xmon's likely going to do some damage to the enemy board. Unfortunately, if the opponent has multiple level 6 Digimon or a single tall stack, Death Xmon doesn't provide much value. They can have 20 level 6 Digimon on the board, but if you just De-Digivolve them all by 1, you're not really doing a whole lot there. You're not going to pop any level 4 lower Digimon just by playing this card. Also, if they have a single stack, you're going to de-digivolve a level 6 by 1, and then next turn they can just hard play something, and they don't really lose anything off the play. So that's why this is in the middle of the pack. It's sure not as strong as other level 7 Digimon, but I think it still has a purpose, it has a place, and I think that place is undervalued at the moment. Number 5, Mimi Tachiawa from BT3. All turns when a player uses an option card, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. Options are the lifeblood of most players' search packages and tempo pieces. We have memory boosts, we have trainings, and we have scrambles. And on top of that, we have cards like X Antibody that are really quite frequent in today's game. This punishes players for using any of those setup options for the low cost of 2 memory. They're going to play something, and you're going to make it cost 1 more. This recoups memory investment relatively quickly. If you wait to use this on your opponent's turn after you play it, you get 1 memory, and then on your turn, you can use it again. You got your 2 memory back right there. The play cost of 2 also means that you can very efficiently memory choke the opponent. you know, being at 1 memory and forcing the opponent to start at 1 is a nice way to slow down the game, and you're just incrementally getting more value off the Mimi than whatever they do to choke you back to 1. Seeing more than 1 Mimi in play can also be devastating for the opponent. Once you start getting more than 1 memory off of options being played, you're in the territory where you're either playing trainings for free, you can be gaining 2 memory off of X antibodies, and it's going to cost your opponent 2 memory to do any of their setup, which means if you answer their stack, they're in a lot of trouble. And that's assuming you only have 2 Mimis. Let's say, God forbid, you play 2 Mimis, you see one in security, or you see more than 1 Mimi in security. That's happened to me before playing against my brother with Musketeers. He's seen multiple Mimis in security, and it just makes me rue the day that I played against him. So, great card, unfortunately, often requires sacrificing tempo in order to set up the first Mimi, and with the current speed of the game, that can be enough to lose. Decks are pretty fast right now, and if you think about it, the turn you're playing Mimi, even if you play it at your earliest convenience, you know, rookie into Mimi, that could be a turn where you go rookie into a training, or rookie into a tamer setup that offers you more memory, like a memory tamer. And that tempo can often be the difference between winning and losing the game, which kind of is unfortunate. Number 4, Alice McCoy. It's no secret that I love this tamer. Your turn once per turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve from level 5 to 6, you may delete one of your Digimon to reduce the cost by 3, and it is only 2 costs to play. So, the ability to play other Digimon for free is becoming more and more common in level 5 Digimon. It used to be really, really difficult to play this tamer because you needed to run really specific decks that could actually run a level 5 that could play you something back, but we have lots now, like Digitamamon, Bossdaemon, and Cerberusmon. 2 play cost means you can choke. We talked about it with Mimi. It's a great play cost for a tamer like this. And Alice immediately recoups your investment cost on the first instance of effect usage, giving +1 memory equity. What I mean by that is this costs 2 to play, and you are technically getting 3 memory off of popping a Digimon to go from 5 to 6, which means you net 1 memory gain. Even though you don't actually have that memory to play with, you've saved 1 extra memory. This is also not locked to purple in terms of effects, so you can do things like that Cerberusmon Werewolf mode we talked about. You play a level 3, and then you can use Alice to get into a blue level 6 Digimon, even though Alice is purple, which is fantastic. I love that this effect is not locked by color. In my opinion, this is the best representation of tempo versus value in the game. You're weighing the option of either having another Digimon that you can use to either get a security check, to Evo into and get more when Digivolving effects, or you're getting rid of all that for the tempo of Digivolving into a level 6 Digimon and having whatever effect that level 6 has. Unfortunately, this card requires some level of extra setup, usually the trash, to provide the extra Digimon for effect usage, meaning it often puts you farther behind in tempo than the value is worth. And the best way I can illustrate this is you're probably playing Analog Youth in the deck because you need to put a level 3 purple Digimon in the trash, which means not only do you have to play Alice to then sacrifice the level 3 to get into level 6 for free, but you need to play the Analog Youth or some other card that puts cards in the trash so you can actually access those level 3s from the trash, which means you are investing more than 1 card into making this work, which sacrifices more tempo than that value can often be worth. Number 3 here, Demonic Disaster. I really, really, really like this card, guys. This is a 1-cost option that says main, you may delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend one of your purple Digimon. The security effect says you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-play effects on Digimon play with this effect don't activate. So, this is an incredibly cost-effective way to push for game, especially in aggressive or tempo-based purple decks. We talk about how purple plays bodies back very, very effectively. It's becoming a much more frequent effect than it used to be, and this is a 1-cost option that lets you unsuspend and swing an extra check. Security effects can still provide a free body, which can provide not only aggro, but some versatility through further Digivolution. So if the opponent hits this in security, you get a free level 3 back, and then you have the choice on your turn to either swing with that level 3 or use it to Digivolve into another stack. This synergizes with Purple's core themes of trash recursion, low-cost aggression, and enabling on-deletion effects. You can use this to intentionally delete your stacks. So that's really good. We have lots of purple level 6 Digimon and on-deletion inheritables that just need cards to pop the stack so you can get all that value, and Demonic Disaster is technically a 1-cost option that allows you to do that. As decks get faster, this card becomes a more powerful tech option for closing out games more effectively than the enemy. So if you're both playing a really, really aggro deck, well, the guy who has a way to unsuspend and swing that extra check is going to be the one who closes out the game faster. Unfortunately, Demonic Disaster does not work in every deck as it requires extra bodies to actually enable you to push at will. Otherwise, you're just hoping for the lucky security effect to give you a free level 3. You have to have a way to get that extra body on the board. Granted, depending on your setup, you might just be able to hard slam a 3-cost rookie and then pop the Demonic Disaster to get in there for the extra check. But more often than not, you're going to want to have that level 3 setup ahead of time so that you can come in with your body, swing, and then pop the level 3 to get your extra damage. Moving on to number 2 here, Metal Impulse. Another card that I'm a huge fan of that I never see people play. It's on a lot of my casual decks. This is a 6-cost option that says main, trash up to 3 cards in your hand. For each card trash by this effect, de-digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon, then delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Currently, protection against Digimon effects and leaving the battle area are becoming more common. That tends to be the way that protection is worded nowadays. And that leaves the cards vulnerable to removal via options and de-digivolve. So this card actually dodges both those forms of protection by being an option that de-digivolves and then deletes after. So you can often get rid of whatever card has the protection effect, bring it all the way down to a level 4, and then delete it with the Metal Impulse. Versatility and commitment level by allowing discarding up to 3 cards is a huge point on this card as well. You don't always need to pitch all 3 cards to get your value out of this card. You could always pitch 2 to bring the level 6 down to a level 4 and then pop it. Depending on if they have X antibodies in their stack, this can still be a totally usable card by getting rid of the 6 and the 2 level 5s, bringing it to a level 4. And I love that level of versatility that this card provides. Discarding is also still an excellent form of trash setup for purple. We don't always have to be drawing and discarding. We don't have to be popping bodies to get them in the trash or milling off the top of the deck. This just lets you pitch 3 cards in hand, which is still perfectly viable trash setup and very valuable for purple. If this ever hits an ace Digimon, you can grab back 4 or 5 memory, making this a 1 or 2 cost option. If you hit a level 7 ace with the de-digivolve, you get 5 back. You hit a level 6 ace Digimon, you get 4 back. And playing this card for 1 or 2 memory is a fantastic deal. Unfortunately, this card is mostly held back by its color combination requirement. Purple and black you don't really see outside of like Dark Nightmon, Lord Nightmon, and the Dexter Goromon deck. So if you're outside of those main archetypes, it can be hard to meet your color requirements for playing this card. Number 1, my most underrated card. I love this card. I love playing it where I can. Omnimon Zwart Defeat. So he's a 3-cost Evo on a purple level 6 or a black level 6. Security effect, play this card without battling and without paying its memory cost. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's tamers, and on deletion, delete one of your opponent's tamers. So what is there to love about this card? Well, he's good in security because he's a free body. So you don't actually feel bad when this is in security like other level 7s where you're like, man, I wish I was in my hand and not in security. You know, when your Ruin Mode or Bolt Bautamon winds up in security. It's good on Digivolve as it pops a tamer for 3 memory. We've talked about how a lot of strategies now actually enable you to play a lot of tamers for free. And a lot of them are actually kind of dependent on those tamers to give them the value and the juice to keep up the aggro that they need to be the fast decks that they are. And Omnimon Zwart is a 3-cost that actually pops those tamers and starts staunching the problem, getting rid of those tamers, which you need sometimes. It's got a good on deletion as it guarantees a trade with one of your opponent's more problematic Digimon. On deletion, you just get to pop one of your opponent's Digimon. It's not level based. It's not suspended or unsuspended based. You are just deleting one of your opponent's Digimon. Granted, there is lots of protection out there, so this might not always hit, but it is nice that you have the ability to target something with an on deletion effect. In purple, self-deletion themes are very common, making this a great package to remove tamers and Digimon at the same time. This is just a bundle of value. If you evo this on top of a purple level 6 and hit a Pandemonium Flame, you are now popping a tamer, using the on deletion to target one of your opponent's Digimon for deletion, and then using the Pandemonium Flame to delete one of their level 7 or lower Digimon, and that's an option so it can dodge the protection from Digimon effects protection effect that we see so frequently. In black, Zwart Defeat can force self-removal with the abundance of blocker and collision inherits, so you can get this guy set up with blocker and collision, and if your opponent swings in with something you don't like, you just block it with Zwart Defeat, and you're either trading the Zwart Defeat and then getting your on deletion effect, or Zwart Defeat is a wall that's stopping your opponent from checking your security. In a deck that has tools to enable Zwart Defeat as a level 7, it can shine more than most other offerings. I actually really like this guy in the decks that he plays nicely in. I would prefer him over a Ruin Mode or a Bolt Bautamon, just depending on what the deck looks like. He might just be a better option in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, he's not searchable via trainings or memory boost. That is the biggest hit to this card, in my opinion, aside from that on deletion effect being not the best anymore, because protection effects, not being able to hit this off of a training or a memory boost, it can feel really bad, especially if you're running like 2 copies like you reasonably would for another level 7. If you hit this guy in one of your trainings or your memory boost, you just know that you're probably not seeing the other Zwart Defeat for the rest of the game. So that is it for my top 10 most undervalued, underrated cards, whatever you want to call it. I still want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. What is your most underrated card? What do you think more people should give a shot? And maybe pick up a card that somebody else has commented in the comments down below and give it a whirl. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.